All right, looks like we're ready to kick on with our next session, which is going to be on harnessing financial data to achieve a business impact. And I'd like to welcome to the stage Andy Warren of Santander UK and Dorel Blitz of Personetics. Gentlemen, come on out.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Dorel Blitz. I'm VP Strategy and Business Development at Personetics. Andy, please introduce yourself.
I'm Andy Warren, Head of Digital Transformation for Santander UK.
Personetics is a global category leader in the space of financial data-driven personalization and customer engagement, and we are really proud of our great partnership with Santander, actually all over the world. Today we're going to speak about some of the work that we've done with Santander UK. We are seeing as a global leader that the battleground in finance is really around the financial data-driven engagement around customers and the ability of banks to finally move from a very passive reactive approach into a smart, proactive, financial data-driven approach that gives them the ability to think about their customers, to engage with their customers on a day-by-day, to help customers to fulfill their expectations, their dreams, to be there for their customers. We think how banks are moving from this reactive to smart, proactive, financial data-driven approach, how they're helping customers to improve their financial well-being, their financial life, their financial resilience. And in order to do so, it's really getting back into their core essence, their own customers' financial transactional data, their biggest asset, how to use that, how to access that, including open banking and open finance, and how to engage with customers on a day-by-day. What we are seeing happening in the market today is that finally banks are investing in this area. And this is not marketing automation, and this is not CRM perspectives. This is the ability to truly get into their own financial transactional data of their retail customers, small business, wealth management customers, their card holders, and the ability to drive between the core processor and the digital channels a deep level of understanding of how their customers are dealing with their financial data, their spending patterns, their cash flow needs, how they are dealing with their incomes, their expenses, what they are planning to do, what is their budget, how they are going to save, to cut a debt, to invest for the future, and the ability to move into a complete automated proposition. And a part of our vision as Personetics is self-driving finance. So very similar to self-driving cars, the 5 steps, we believe that banks should go through the same process and should be able to even think and act on behalf of their customers, moving customers from a FOMO, fear of missing out, into JOMO, joy of missing out, where finally customers can sit back and relax, and the banks, it can be a human being, a technology and hybrid model, are finally able to be there for their customers, becoming this real-time, cool friend, trusted advisor that is looking out for their customers. And as a company, as a global leader in that space, we have over 80 banks in 30 markets all over the world, over 120 million customers that we are touching almost every day, and you are seeing some of these logos. And we are able to become or to drive this global standard of what should be the relationship model between financial institutions and their customers, and what should be the monetization model, and how it's a win-win situation, improving customers' financial well-being and resilience, helping banks to efficiently better sell and service and be there for their customers. And when we are looking on the next generation of money management or the self-driving finance trajectory, it's a 4-step process in most of the cases, is the ability to really get into the data, to understand exactly anomalies and patterns and cash flow predictions and scoring and prioritization on a day-by-day in real time, combining different data sources from the bank, from outside of the bank. If it's a small business customer, what about his cloud accounting software as an example? Open banking, open finance, my retirement data, my investment and trading data. So that requires a very unique AI-based models to deal with that and to drive a real-time analysis of customers' financial behavior on a specific real-time level. The next step is content, the ability to quickly drive hundreds of day-to-day personalized, financial data-driven insights, alerts, recommendations, product-based advice, budgeting tools, automated financial wellness programs, and the ability of banks to, every time a customer is logging in, Or every time the bank is proactively engaged with the customer, he receives a real-time, relevant financial content about his finance. What's happening, what should be happening, maybe a good advice, maybe a great guidance. And then the ability to even automate the whole process, to fulfill customer expectations, and the social contract, and the ability of banks, as we keep saying, proactively even act on behalf of their customers with these kind of programs. So Personetics platform, it's a robust strategic platform that provides all of these capabilities with the deep level of financial data categorization, enrichment services, with a deep out-of-the-box content and capabilities for different segments, and even the tools, a codeless creation and management console that gives the banks the ability to drive that by themselves, to accelerate their own innovation, to adapt to market changes, to complement the internal data scientist teams, and keep innovate, keep modify content, keep create by themselves, keep grow their business into other segments, and always be there for their customers. And maybe the most important slide here is about business impact. There is nothing without business impact. And Personetics is within the process. And our ability to quickly drive and key a significant business impact with our 80 banks clients all over the world, and to drive the highest level of engagement, the highest level of NPS score, account and balance growth, digital sales growth, retention, and maybe the most important number, conversion rates, to make sure that banks are able to efficiently and effectively sell their own products, their own services at the right time, at the right channel, through a personalized journey. I would like to show you one example of the work that we are currently doing and keep growing with Santander UK. And this is the My Manager experience. I'm sure that you saw the Bank of Ant and Dec, presentations and TV commercials. As a part of that is the My Money Manager by Santander UK. And this is a great implementations that touching today over 2 million active digital users, a great internal numbers, and the ability to drive a consistent, personalized journey with the customers, with dozens of insights, alerts, recommendations, product-based advice, push notifications, and able to be there for their customers to drive this consistent, personalized journey with them. And that's maybe the last slide that we wanted to show you today. Some of the great feedback from customers. This is a real customers and their own feedback in different channels about what they are getting from using this proposition and how it's able to effectively helping them to achieve their financial goals, their financial wellness. So I leave it with you. So I have a couple of questions I created for Andy. I hope that he won't be alarmed, right? So I think the first one is really about this great money manager, money management solution and the position that we've done with you. Just, where do you see the challenges that customers are facing, that drove you to seek those kind of, money management solutions?
I think it's worth going back to where we started. So 3 years ago, we started a journey to move from product to customer goals and customer needs. And that really kind of opened the door to a different perspective to the solutions that we needed to build. Of course, value was important, but what we were missing by looking at it in a more traditional lens was actually what were the needs that we needed to solve. So we could see very simply by just looking at the data that we now use that customers were missing opportunities to save money. Obviously bills are going up at the moment, but at the time that's not something new. People don't respond to offers ending, to new subscriptions that they might have signed up to a telephony company, etc. So we saw the data that customers told us they couldn't save, but actually were missing the opportunity to maybe move sooner to that next best deal. And it was actually, I think I've been in banking for quite a number of years, and I think customers probably were a bit skeptical about how their data might be used. Thinking that the banks might be kind of spying on their accounts and, what kind of decisions and influence that had. But I think that's fundamentally changed. So customers now see the responsibility is with us to help customers make better decisions. And really that's kind of where we started from.
I completely agree. How Santander UK customers are actually interacting, with this My Manager app, and what are the value that you see that brings to the end user?
So I think there's two things there. You've obviously saw some very impressive figures, and that 2 million is the number of people that are engaged with the feature. So it's not just the number of people that it's been exposed to. We've had a very impressive set of responses from customers. So it's supported growth in our mobile NPS for the customers that have registered. We've got some fantastic quotes, as you can see, and we get thousands of these, a day, because the unique thing is that customers can give feedback, and then that then goes into the development of the product and how we optimize the insights moving forward. But I think the bit that's really different, because PFM tools and the ability to go in and do some charts and see where you're spending your money, everyone's got it in their app. But the bit that really was different for me with the proposition that we've built was that removing the effort. And to your point, Darrell, the joy of missing out, which is, that automation. I know that someone's got my back. I know that someone's going to tell me that I've sent that thing back that I've ordered. Did I get the refund going back into my account? I've just traveled to Portugal. What did I spend whilst I was there? So it's that proactive nature and the ability to assist the customer beyond, them taking responsibility themselves.
I completely agree. In the future, how do you think that banks, will be able to better address this financial wellness?
I honestly see this type of capability growing exceptionally further. I think it's really important. It's not just about how we serve the 80% of the market, but I think there's a really interesting piece, which is this type of capability levels things up. So those that maybe are not as financially literate, maybe vulnerable customer segments, but there's a really important part where artificial intelligence will help the customers which perhaps have needed that support but haven't been able to access it through traditional services.
We are seeing the growing usage of open banking finally in the UK. It's kickstarting now. You don't need to have a consent. So how do you see, banks can actually leverage open banking in that space, combining those propositions with the end user?
So I think for sure what we've built is something that can be translated into the open banking market as well. But I think the bit that when banks approach that and other industries, tap into it, is to focus on the need. It's not about having something that looks a really GUI UI that looks incredible for someone to explore for 15 minutes and then forget about. Once you've got that trust from the customer to look across their full financial health, it's finding those opportunities, and you just got to remember yourself. I think one of the best examples I had as a user of my money manager was in 2020. We signed up to Disney Plus over Christmas to keep ourselves entertained because we couldn't go anywhere. The intention was just to keep it for Christmas because we've got enough subscriptions as it is, and I'd missed it. I had the very intent to cancel it at the beginning of January. I missed it, but I got that insight, and I think it's working to find all of those different types of everyday challenges that people have.
I agree. And let's speak for a second about, a carbon footprint. It's becoming a hype, I would say even at some level, greenwashing, if you are not doing that right. So how do you think, banks should, help customers to fulfill their social duties, such as carbon footprint?
So I think it's another version of doing the right thing, right? So you're either helping customers to do the right thing by better managing their finances, or finding those opportunities to save, or it could be helping people to be more conscious about the way that they spend and the influence that has on the climate. So we've certainly seen the demands come from customers, and there are UK banks and other banks across the globe that are starting to build these types of solutions. But I think there's a general shift in attitude towards wanting to do the right thing, and the opportunity is then the middle ground, which is the tools to help them with that.
I completely agree. Maybe last question. Since implementing My Money Manager, how does the increase of customer engagement really benefit Santander UK?
Yeah, so I mentioned before, obviously we've seen an exceptional take-up. We've seen a really good response in terms of the insights that we're providing. We've had the benefit from an NPS point of view, but there's been this other effect, which is our registered customers are spending more time in our app. So they're actually looking at other things whilst they're in there, and it's probably some of these nudges, which is actually I need to cancel that standing order, or I need to think about the rate that I'm earning on that savings account. But we've seen a greater engagement with their financial health more generally, which I think is only a positive thing, particularly with the with the way inflation's going at the moment.
I hear you. And when you're thinking about, wellness automation, the ability to take it even much more proactive towards customers, do you have any thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think I think that's really within touching distance. I don't think it's as far ahead as what people might think. I think the ability for Alexa to manage your finances or tell you something that you need to do to transfer some money, you've got a bill that's coming in that's going to be bigger than what you've got in your balance. I really do think that is in touching distance. I think there are some very simple use cases you could do to start with. Energy switching was one of the ones that we were exploring, but that's a bit harder at the moment because there's not too much in the market to switch to. But I think helping customers through automation to understand and helping customers through automation to take action, are going to be very closely followed.
Great. Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you for listening to us.